Good morning and welcome to the Monte Vista Unitarian Universalist Congregation Sunday service. I am Alan Worley, President of the Board of Trustees, and today we welcome the UU Fellowship of Kern County and their minister, Reverend Rick Hoyt McDaniels, who is no stranger to us. Please make sure to read the weekly announcements that are emailed out on Thursdays. It contains a lot, if not all, but a lot of the things we are doing, things we do. Please note that the location of the memorial service for Carol Cerna has been changed to Riverside. It was originally scheduled to be done in Corona. It is still scheduled for February 11th at 12 noon, but the location has changed. There's a Justice Committee meeting this afternoon at 4 p.m. on Zoom. And Monte Vista Unitarian Universalist Congregation is 70 years old this year. We'll be celebrating this all year. Our spirit level grant for technology fundraising is still collecting funds. This grant will allow us to improve our already awesome Zoom presence. And please note on your check or PayPal donation, SLG or something to that effect, to make sure that the money goes to the right spot. And it was put into the chat box early on, but as a reminder, if you have a joy or concern that you'd like to share with us today, please use the chat window in your Zoom session. And if you can, at Reverend Maggie's request, please change the send to name in the chat window from everyone to Reverend Maggie. So with that, I'll pass it over to Reverend Maggie.
Good morning and blessings, everyone. So good to be with you. And welcome to our Bakersfield kin as well. It's our tradition in Monte Vista that we open our service with an ingathering where we sound the bowl 3 times. We sound it once for those who came before. The Tongva peoples, who were the original stewards of this land and called it their home long ago. We also honor our ancestors and the founding members of our congregation who imagined and planted this thriving community. We ring it once for those who are with us here and now. For our members, friends, visitors, for our staff and our extended UU family, all who hold, care, and grow this beloved community that we know as our own. And we ring it once for those who will come. For those who we hope will find community and belonging with us and call MVUUC their spiritual home in the days ahead. Our opening hymn today, and this might be a little awkward. We're still, feeling our way back into Zoom only. So we do have the lyrics to our opening hymn, number 361. We chose not to use videos for all of our music today. So you will hear Lily playing and you will have the lyrics on your screen. So I invite you to sing out from home so we can all hear each other across the miles. But let's sing opening hymn number 361, Enter, Rejoice, and Come In. I guess I was singing a little too loud. I got muted as soon as I started singing. I don't know what happened. Thank you, Lily, for doing that, for being on top of things. Our time together in worship is woven with the very fiber of our daily lives. And as a symbol of that connection, we light our chalice with a flame that reflects for us the warmth of our community, the comfort of our connections, and the light that illumines our best path. May this flame ignite our curiosity as we continue to seek what is good. May this flame bring a remembrance of our heart's true nature. And may this flame light us up with awareness of the kinship that we share with one another and with all things. You guys see that? There we go. There's our chalice. I invite any of you that have one at home to go ahead and light it now as well. And those of us in the Monte Vista congregation are used to our weekly speaking of our covenant that we formed together. I invite those of you in Bakersfield to join in as you're comfortable. The words will be up on the screen. Love is the doctrine of this congregation. The quest of truth, its sacrament, and service is its prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge in freedom, to serve the world in fellowship, to the end that all souls shall grow in harmony with the divine. Thus do we covenant with each other. And I have a little memory, a treat for everybody from Monte Vista, all for the whole year and a half or however long it was, for that whole lifetime that we did all of our worship online. Our congregation kind of grew to fall in love with this one video that we're going to have in our service today. It was made by the Church of All Souls in New York City, and it's Spirit of Life. It starts with Spanish, and then the second verse is in English. So I invite you to sing along as you're comfortable, but enjoy this video that we have grown to love.
Good morning, everyone. Hi, my name is Reverend Rick Hoyt McDaniels. I'm the halftime minister at the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship of Kern County. As many of you know me, and I'm happy to be here and see you all. You know, this Zoom environment has been so challenging in so many ways for us, but it also is a special blessing that it allows us to be together in different kinds of community. And I'm really happy that your congregation invited us to join you for worship this morning, and I'm happy to be here. And also happy that Maggie invited me to give our time for all ages during the worship service. She also gave me a suggestion of what my message could be. And it's a message that was originally written by the Unitarian Universalist minister, Gary Kowalski. And I was very happy when she sent me the text of Gary Kowalski's message, because it's about hiking. And I am a hiker myself. I really like hiking. So it was a natural fit for me to be able to share this message with you. So there are some wonderful places to go hiking. I imagine a lot of you also like to go on hikes or just long walks out in nature. We're really blessed in Southern California, in our Los Angeles area, to have so many wonderful places to go hiking right nearby. And really throughout Southern California, even out throughout the Southwest, my husband and I love to go hiking together. We've been hiking all over the place in California and Arizona and Nevada. And one of my favorite places, one of our favorite places to go hiking, is a national park in Utah called Zion National Park. I imagine many of you have been there. It's about an hour's drive away, but it's just a whole other world. And it's absolutely spectacular to go hiking in Zion. One time, several years ago, Jim and I went hiking in Zion, and there's a particular hike in Zion that's called the Narrows. Now, the Zion National Park is centered around a canyon. So there's a river that comes through the middle of the national park, and then the park itself is a canyon with high walls on each side. And this one hike called the Narrows, actually you walk right up the path of the river that forms the canyon. And as you go farther and farther up the canyon, the walls get closer and closer together until it gets very narrow. And that's why they call it the Narrows. We were hiking in July, but even that late in the year, there's still a lot of water coming through the river. So sometimes you're walking on the side of the river, but sometimes you're walking right into the middle of the river, right through the water. So you have to wear special boots, and sometimes you have to wear special pants too, so you don't get completely soaking wet, but you're walking right in the water with the water coming up to your knees or to your thighs. It's pretty spectacular. And as you're walking, you see the walls on either side of the canyon, beautiful rocks, beautiful colors, all sorts of wonderful things to see. So I love to go hiking, and I love to take, and when I'm thinking about hiking, I'm also thinking about how our lives are kind of like this same sort of hike, that as we walk through a beautiful hike, we're going slowly, we're looking at the different things around us, we're noticing the colors and the rocks and the plants and so on. And that's how I try to treat my life too, as one long, beautiful hike where I go slowly and I look around me. I notice what I'm seeing as I go day by day through this long journey of my life. Now, when I walked through the Narrows, that hike in Zion that I was telling you about, I had a special help with me, and this is it right here. This is my walking stick. Now, it looks a little short, I think, but that's because you can adjust it down here to make it longer. It telescopes out. So this is my walking stick that I used when I walked through that canyon in Zion National Park. Now, a lot of people have walking sticks that don't look like this. They actually look like sticks. They're like a branch of or a stick from a tree. This is mine. Everybody has to find their own. They all can be different. And so it's up to you to find one that's comfortable for you. Now, when I was doing that hike in the canyon, I couldn't see my feet sometimes because they were in the water. So I had this walking stick to help me when I couldn't see my feet. And it helped a lot along along that hike and made it much more easy. It didn't solve every problem for me. I still had to do the work myself and still had to do all the hiking, but this walking stick helped me along the way. It was there when I needed it. It gave me a little extra help. And even when I didn't need it, it gave me comfort because I knew it was there and would be there if I did need it a little further along. So in our lives, I talked about our lives being like a long hike too. We also have a kind of a walking stick, not a physical walking stick, but we have something else that helps us through our journey. And that's my message for you today, that through our journey of life, our walking stick is our Unitarian Universalist faith. So as we go through our lives, and when life gets a little narrow, or it gets a little slippery, or it gets steep, we have our faith like a walking stick. Now, what is our faith walking stick? Our faith walking stick is our UU ancestors who went on this hike before us and taught us what to expect. We have the walking stick for our faith of our 7 principles, which help us to keep our feet firmly on the ground. We have the walking stick of our 6 sources and all of the incredible wisdom from the world's religions and from science and so on. And we also have the walking stick of faith of this community of your congregation in Montclair and our congregation up in Bakersfield. We have these people around us who are all hiking on their journeys too, and are learning things as they go along their way, and then coming together on Sundays, all of us, to share what we've learned. So when I go on a big hike, like the hike that I go into Zion, it feels good to have a walking stick like this that I can lean on when I need it. And as we go through, all of us, through the beautiful journey of our lives, it's good that we have another walking stick too, and that's called Unitarian Universalism.
Thank you, Rick. That was great. And while you were talking, I hopped off to the left here and pulled out my walking stick. Isn't it beautiful? Jeannie Coates carved this and made it to me and gave it to me on actually St. Bridget's Day last year. So February 1st will be 1 year since I started at Monte Vista, and well, 2 years, sorry. See how COVID is? We just lose all track of time. Our offering message today opens with these words from Reverend Ellen Johnson Fay, not our own Reverend Ellen, but Reverend Ellen Johnson Fay, who writes in reading number 675 in our hymnal that the offering is a sacrament of the free church, supported by the voluntary generosity of those who join with us. So as the generous caretakers of this community, we find ourselves traversing yet another curve on the road that seems exceptionally bumpy these past few years. Yet as the winds shift and we bank those curves with greater and greater skill, we give from our hearts in many ways to maintain our community's physical and spiritual well-being. So thank you for your kind and generous donations. We are givers in so many aspects of our church life together. All that we do in our care of each other is an offering toward our wholeness. We invite our guests from Bakersfield to let this time of offering be a time to just rest and enjoy Lily's offertory and allow this service to be our gift to you. But it is with a grateful appreciation of our shared hopes and values that our generous offerings will now be given and received. You'll see the link to our PayPal in the chat box posted there by Lily Noah Roberts, our behind the scenes tech guru. And I now invite you to enjoy Lily Popova for our offertory. Thank you so much, Lily. You don't know how healing your music is to us, or maybe you do know, but we can't thank you enough. And shame on us if we don't. our time of joys and concerns is something that we've kind of clung to at Monte Vista. We enjoy having that opportunity to say, hey, what's going on for you? You know, what are you really struggling with? And would sharing it make it easier for you to carry? So there are things that, you know, we should keep private, like the names of people that we carry on our hearts. You know, without their permission, we don't want to be talking about their health condition. But if we're concerned about someone, we could mention our relationship with them. I invite us now to do a little singing from home again as we enter into our pastoral hymn now. I've chosen one from our teal hymnal that we love at Monte Vista, number 1031. It's filled with loving kindness, and Lily will play for us, and we are unable to share our mics, but please sing out at home as you feel moved. It is such a beautiful sung prayer. May we be whole. As we pause in honor Dr. King on this national holiday that marks what would have been his 93rd birthday tomorrow, there's both a sense of awe for the blessings of his life and a real heartache for the overwhelming evidence that we really haven't come that far or done that much with what he's taught us since he was assassinated in 1968 at only 39 years old. Both aspects of his legacy are important reflections and offer us gifts as we sift the treasures of our spiritual theme this month and breathe in a sense of renewal. We renew our faith through the aspiration that we receive from his every example. And yet that renewal is still our choice. In times such as these, we are both longing for a sense of renewal and wondering when our fairy godmothers will arrive to describe it. Often we can set ourselves up for automatic renewal. Our Netflix, our AAA, our LA Times, Yes Magazine, and our gym membership are set up with our permission to charge our credit cards with pre-approval just to keep us connected. Automatic renewal might be an expectation that one has for a life dedicated to a specific faith tradition. And some might say, I've been UU most of my life. But let's ask, does that bring us with an assumption that being lifers means there's no need to keep learning and growing and changing? We say, heavens no, quite to the contrary. Unitarian Universalism requires that we stay on that free and responsible search at all times, and maybe especially so during these times that stretch us so much. The renewal we need at the soul level to refresh our spirits, to inspire our hearts, and to boost our life force requires that we engage with the intention, the purpose, and the desire for the give and take of a healthy, nourishing spirit of life. And there's no better place to do that work than within our congregations, living out our faith together. Many of us have expressed a knowing that it was our faith community that got us through the past 2 years, that the renewal and refreshing that came from each Zoom meeting, each email, each phone call, each action item, each vote cast, each card sent, each day spent with devotion to our faith that binds us, and that we helped each other to insist that we would lock arms and make it through. For as Robert Frost tells us in his poem, Servant to Servant, the only way out is through. So how do we go through together? It helps to know that we don't all need to feel renewed at the same time or to the same degree. We walk together in faith with locked arms, singing to one another. We remind one another that we come from a long line of liberal thinkers, and we are called to continue that legacy. We take great pride, the good kind of pride, in our UU history, and we study about it and treasure it and protect it from being watered down or criticized or underrated or misused to cause us to appear elite or better than another faith. Because how would that be liberating? Another way we go through to renewal is to celebrate the gifts of those that we share this faith with. If we can, we write and share poetry that helps bring us together. Author and educator and activist Parker Palmer shouted the praises of our own Reverend Dr. Lynn Ungar's new poem on Facebook Saturday. She writes through the lens of a grandmother who's telling her story of living through the days that we're in now. It'll help us through. It's titled Afterwards. She told her granddaughter the whole harrowing story, glossing over nothing, not just the lives lost and the jobs, but also how it seemed like the world went dim when they lost dancing and singing, and when the theaters and the stadiums and the concert halls closed down, when the school playgrounds went silent. We never forgot, she assured the girl, what a hug felt like. We never stopped wanting that. But Grandma, the girl asked, how did you do it? How did you make it through? It wasn't easy, the woman replied, but at some point we just decided we were more attached to living than to our old ideas about the way that things are supposed to be. Finding our way through to this renewal we need will not be easy, but we do know the way through. We have been through before. And we know in our heart of hearts that the way is eased by the refreshment that comes to us through our Unitarian Universalist faith and by the strong, brave companions that we walk with. By being more attached to our new way through life than we are to what we used to know as normal. So may we renew our curiosity and release judgment. May we trust our way through and learn more about love. May we hold our faith like a walking stick, locking arms with our ancestors and with one another as we bring our liberating life of faith to a world that is oh so ready for it. And as we close, may the refreshing sound of an edited version of the UUA Purpose and Principles Bring renewal to this new year, just opening right ahead of us. We, the Unitarian Universalist Association, shall be devoted to the religious, educational, and humanitarian purposes that serve its member congregations, organize new congregations, and implement its principles. Together, we covenant to affirm and promote the inherent worth and dignity of every person, justice, equity, and compassion in human relations, acceptance of one another, and the encouragement to spiritual growth in our congregations, a free and responsible search for truth and meaning, the right of conscience, and the use of the democratic process within our congregations and in society at large. The goal of a world community with peace, liberty, and justice for all, and respect for the interdependent web of all existence of which we are a part. May it be so. Amen, and blessed be. I invite everyone now to join us for our closing hymn. We'll hear Lily playing, and Noah Roberts will put up the lyrics to our closing hymn, one that I hope we're all familiar with, number 121, We'll Build a Land. There we go. Thank you, Lily. I could hear all of you singing in my mind and heart. So it was a beautiful way to bring our wonderful service together to a conclusion. I look forward to a day when we can be in the same room and feel safe and share our fellowship together. And as I extinguish our chalice for today, I invite you to join me in the words of Elizabeth Sell Jones. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. And my blessing for you is, may the love which surpasses all separation, heals every heart and reconciles all things. May that love be in us and among us now and always. And may the week ahead be one of justice, celebration, and love. And may it be our passion and our mission to make it so.